So this is a slightly harder example of how to find the slope of a tangent line using the derivative definition. Again, the definition is f prime of x equals limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x over delta x. So for the question is, find the slope of the tangent line at the given point. So we have a function and we have our given point. First step is to find the derivative of the function. Just a side note, when you're talking about derivatives, find the derivative, take the derivative, means the same thing. Okay, so how we find the derivative? So f prime, again the prime means derivative, equals the limit of, we've got our blue part minus our purple part over our green part. We have to find each of these components. The blue component is really the only thing you have to do anything with. We just take the x plus delta x and plug it into where x was in the original equation. So the x right here in the original equation, just put parentheses around it and plugged the x plus delta x in, and then minus 9, because we still have the original equation. F of x we were given, x squared minus 9, and delta x is just delta x. So I plug each of those parts in. The blue part minus, don't forget to put the parentheses around the purple part, over delta x, the green part. Just remembering that delta x is one thing and it's not the same thing as just x. So as in right here, when you have 2x delta x, you cannot say 2 delta x squared. They're not, you cannot multiply them. They're two separate variables. Like you had x and y are two variables, x and delta x are two variables. So here, I'm just simplifying. I expanded right here, and I accidentally forgot to write minus 9, so I wrote it on top. Minus this part, which didn't need any expanding. Then down here, I still forgot to copy down the negative 9, or minus 9 from here. And then just eliminated anything that could be eliminated. We had an x squared minus an x squared because we distributed the negative. So we ended up with delta x squared plus 2x delta x plus 9 minus 9, which both of those 9's cancel out, which leaves you with delta x squared over 2x delta x over delta x. Just recall that the general goal during this simplification part is to get rid of the delta x on the bottom, because, as we can see from the limit, delta x is approaching 0, and we can't have a 0 on the bottom. Alright, so what I did to eliminate it, and what you generally want to do, is factor it out somehow. So here I pulled one delta x from each term, and ended up with delta x times delta x plus 2x. And you could check to make sure that's right by multiplying it back out, and you would get this. So I was able to multiply this delta x on the top, and this delta x on the bottom, and that gives you delta x plus 2x. Now remember, delta x is fine here on the top. It's not, it's in the denominator, so it's okay. Because the reason it couldn't be in the denominator is because it was approaching 0. But you can have 0 on the top, that's fine. Okay, so I went ahead, and now that I've eliminated it from the bottom, I plugged it in, plugged the 0 in for delta x. So you had 0 plus 2x. Remember, you cannot plug the 0 in here because this is an x, not a delta x. So the derivative is 2x. once you have plugged in the delta x and you get some either a constant or another equation, we have this, that'll be the derivative. The derivative can be either a constant or an equation that includes x. But you need to make sure to plug in delta x everywhere. So therefore, the derivative is 2x, which we can write as f prime of x equals 2x. And part 2 of the problem was, if we recall from the first one, from the question, find the slope of the tangent line at the given point. We had this given point, we had this function. The first step was to find the derivative. We did that. If the question had been, find the derivative of f of x equals x squared minus 9, this would be our answer. However, the question was, find the slope of the tangent line at the given point. So all you have to do, once you find the derivative, is take the point and plug this x value into our derivative. Our derivative was x prime of x equals 2x. So I plugged in our x value from here, which is 2. So we ended up with f prime of 2 equals 2 times 2 equals 4. Therefore, we could say that the slope of the tangent line at 2, negative 5 of the function f of x equals x squared minus 9 is 4. The slope is 4. And what that looks like on a graph, this is the x squared minus 9, this curve here. This straight line here is tangent line. It's the tangent line for the point that we were given, 2, negative 5. So if we were to take this tangent line and find the slope of it, it would be 4. And that is the answer to our question. Again, the original question was, find the slope of the tangent line at the given point. This is the slope of this tangent line at this point.